Last week I did a video on Perfect New World and what was it? New Jade Dynasty World. And I went on to elaborate a little bit on how Perfect World Games were in the process of developing a slew of new titles. I mentioned that I would do a more dedicated, more condensed video featuring all of these games at a later date. And here we are today talking about it. So this list was actually posted on MMO Culture, and let me tell you, the amount of games that are included in this post is actually incredible. I'm gonna go through them one by one. Some of them are PC games, some of them are PC and console games, and some of them are mobile games. You can go ahead and skip the mobile games if you want to, but it is worth noting that there are going to potentially be some games that you're interested in that aren't necessarily going to be for the platform that you want them to be for. But let's start this off by talking about Perfect New World. Perfect New World is going to be for both PC and consoles. Developed for consoles and PC, this is a modernized version of the original Perfect World MMORPG, targeting the global audience. It is not a remake, but one with new ideas, new features, new graphics, and more. Perfect New World will be the first console game which is self-developed by Perfect World Games. Now, after that, they go on to state Perfect New World, and this is a mobile game with the same title. The mobile version of Perfect New World will be different from the PC one, despite having, they mentioned similar, but the exact same name, being a totally standalone title. It is powered by Unreal Engine 4 with a game design focused on co-op and a massive number of players appearing on screen. It was also claimed that all NPCs will have their own unique looks and movement patterns. Now, when I did my Perfect World video, players went on to claim that they're going to have mobile cross-platform play between the two, and that is just not true. The PC and the console version of Perfect New World are going to hopefully have cross-play between those two, but they are going to be completely disconnected from the mobile version. There will be no mobile compatibility between the three platforms, and you won't have to even address the fact that the mobile version exists. Then we have New Jade Dynasty World. This is a PC MMORPG exclusive, and they go on to state crafted using Unreal Engine 4 and also developed in collaboration with NVIDIA. New Jade Dynasty World is a modernized version of the original Jade Dynasty. Similar to Perfect New World, it is not a remake, but one with new ideas, new features, new graphics, and more. Expect familiar clans and locations to appear though. Then they go on to list Jade Dynasty 2, which is a mobile game, also crafted using Unreal Engine 4. This is a total departure from the original Jade Dynasty. Schools have replaced clans, and there will be technology such as steampunk and robots, etc., included in the overall worldview rather than just a fantasy martial arts. Jade Dynasty 2 is developed on a 5G connection speed right from the start, which means it can be rather data hungry. Then they go on to list New Fantasy Jade Dynasty. I don't remember the original game heading overseas, but Fantasy Jade Dynasty is a key game in the Jade Dynasty IP within China. This is a teenage story about the Jade Dynasty characters using turn-based team combat, something which did not change from the original. Fantasy Jade Dynasty is also introducing an open world system while also adding an AI system which will create new NPCs and events according to what is happening in the server. Then they list the game Tian Long Ba Bu 2, another game which I did not think managed to get localized for overseas regions. The sequel has since been announced. If you did not know, Tian Long Ba Bu is based on an epic martial arts novel by Louis Cha, which in turn was made into many drama series and movies. TLBB2 once again will see a massive upgrade from the original with a focus on original martial arts, though details have yet to be announced. Then we have Ashes of Love. This is based on a celebrated romance novel, which was later made into a massively popular TV drama in 2018. It is also on Netflix now, I believe. That is interesting. It is yet another massive martial arts MMORPG powered by modern techniques while being touted its movie-like visuals and AI expression system. Basically, everything is about visuals for now, and that is pretty much how Eastern developers, both MMO and non-MMO alike, seem to want to tackle things. They want to put an emphasis on graphics over story or over gameplay. Then we have Chinese Paladin, which is a mobile game, yet another IP with tons of TV series and movies within Asia. A new mobile game based on Chinese Paladin was announced. The iconic turn-based combat system will still be utilized here, and overall development will have the IP's creator as a consultant. The game is also touted as a showcase for Chinese manga. Next, we have Chronicles of Infinity. This is a mobile game, but at the same time, this is a game that I know is going to interest a lot of people, and I am probably going to perhaps use in the thumbnail of of the video. Perfect World Games claimed that Chronicle of Infinity is the company's vanguard title, leading the charge into the action RPG genre on mobile. The team has huge global aspirations for the game, almost confirmed for a future global launch, with over 1 million words, 300 maps, and many more to bring this space-time adventure to life. There is also a MOBA mode teased within the game itself. Oh, wait, what? Perfect World Games is responsible for Tower of Fantasy? I had no idea of that. I thought that was done by Hada Games? Or is Perfect, no, they're not just publishing this. Is Perfect World Games behind Hada Games? Oh, wait. It goes to list Tower of Fantasy Mobile, but they're not talking about the PC version. Does that mean that Tower of Fantasy is being published, at least the mobile version of it, by Perfect World Games? Because they're not listing the PC version of Tower of Fantasy here. I think that this Unreal Engine 4 mobile MMO is in beta right now, and I got to find time to try it out again. I've already posted about Tower of Fantasy before. I'm most totally blown away by the scope and the ambition. This is Perfect World Games' first attempt at creating a brand new light sci-fi IP. The game started out as an internal discussion about the relationship between technology, humanity, AI, and global pollution. Players will get to DIY their classes to explore the open world. Of course, there are tons of co-op gameplay modes as well. Interesting that they do not note the PC version of the game, but I mean, you know what? Okay. To be honest, I thought that Codename R looked pretty similar to Tower of Fantasy. Here, the worldview features two growing ideals, technology and religion. As believers from both sides clash, there is much more steampunk influence as well, with the game categorized as a steampunk fantasy title. It was touted that stage-based maps will be made obsolete here and will instead be merged as continuous maps with live elements. That sounds kind of cool, and the trailer itself looks pretty cool too. Codename Million Arthur. Based on the IP from Square Enix, there have already been a couple of different mobile games made before, including the one by competitor NetEase. Perfect World Games is next to pick up Million Arthur and will retain the classic CCG play style while adding roguelike elements and co-op functions. I'm not sure about touting using popular voice actors and actresses since it is so common these days. There is little to talk about right now, so we'll have to wait for more details. Then we have Project Prism. It is announced as Perfect World Games' first attempt at a game merging sci-fi, other worlds, and open world elements. While many technical jargons were mentioned, the key focus seems to be about stabilizing the movement plus combat to provide players with a smooth experience which will minimize the delay caused by latency. Then we have Project Bard. You know what? Actually, that might be my thumbnail. I'm not entirely certain. It's going to be a toss-up between the two games here. This is also on mobile. Compared to previous anime-style games, Project Bard is going the way of a more typical fantasy anime route. It was also confirmed that Project Bard will work with many world-renowned IP in collaborations, though none were named. There is little info on Project Bard right now, and all we have is a very brief trailer for it, and I mean, the characters look gorgeous, but that's to be expected. Then we have Codename X. If you did not already know, this is obviously a mobile game based on the famous console JRPG IP from Atlas, Persona. There's nothing much to be said since Perfect World Games will not be massively changing styles from the original, but rather they will be trying their best to enhance it for mobile devices. There is apparently a global launch planned as well. And then finally, One Punch Man World, which is also on mobile. One Punch Man is an extremely popular IP in China. Well, this is actually an extremely popular IP pretty much everywhere around the world. And Perfect World Games has taken on the mantle to create the next mobile game based on it. According to presentation, players will be able to feel what it's like controlling or becoming the heroes. While not being introduced as a massive open world title, it was showcased as a game with a big world, along with weather and day and night cycles that will affect the power of villains and heroes and trigger different events. Now, that right there was a lot of games. I know that there were also a lot of mobile games listed there, but as you saw with Tower of Fantasy, just because it doesn't say that it is also going to be on PC does not mean that it is not going to have a PC version or it is not going to be compatible with PC as well. Now, there were multiple different PC titles and PC console titles in there, and there were some really, really good looking mobile games as well, such as Chronicle of Infinity, such as Project Bard, and the Persona game as well. Like, there is a lot to look forward to. Perfect World Games here are making some serious moves. They have a plethora of different games that they are in the process of making. This is either going to take their company to entirely new heights, especially considering we have multiple different PC MMOs coming out, or they are going to buckle under the pressure of maintaining all of these games, kind of like Nexon does. Anyway guys, that is pretty much everything I wanted to talk about with regards to Perfect World Games, all of the games that they are currently working on developing. Let me know down in the comments below which game or games you are eagerly anticipating, and let's talk about it. Anyway guys, that is it for me. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.